Hey guys, it's me Val from Casino.online, and there is this strategy floating around that's pulled off some pretty insane wins lately, and if you've seen the first example, wait till you see the second one. Seriously, most people would never guess how far you can stretch just $8 with this approach. So let's break it all down. Because the second win in particular is simply wild, and yeah, it's something you could potentially pull off too if the set was just right. You start with $8 and the strategy is all about managing losses intelligently while keeping bet sizing just aggressive enough to come out ahead with the first win. For every loss, the bet increases slightly, but not in the classic martingale double up way. This version is tweaked so you can survive longer loss streaks without blowing the balance while still turning a decent profit when the win lands. There is a small adjustment in the multiplier curve, like a mathematical sweet spot that allows for one extra loss in the chain before the whole thing has to reset. That small buffer makes a big difference in survivability. Another key setting, the strategy waits for 5 losses in a row before it even starts betting. You can adjust this threshold based on your risk appetite, but 5 is a balanced point between waiting too long and starting too early. As for the base bet, it's set to the lowest possible amount with 4 zeros in front. This keeps the early round safe and scalable. No matter your total balance, it's usually smart to keep that base low and only tweak the loss count trigger. The whole concept comes from a twist on a martingale style system, but instead of waiting forever in other games, this version is designed for dice mode, where you can automate streak based conditions and set win multipliers perfectly. There's also a clever addition, a 1% win chance option, which gives you a 100 times multiplier, just to open the door for a massive hit. It's a high risk shot, but the upside is huge if it lands. The key automation settings look something like this. The win chance you should set to 66 so it resets after every win. Autoplay on, and you start betting after X losses. 5, or your preference of course, on loss increase by somewhere between 50% and 100%. You can also keep an eye on the balance graph to make sure the trend isn't crashing. It's not perfect, but it helps you spot when to pause or tweak. Now here's what tends to happen with this setup. Sometimes a perfectly timed win saves the run just one loss away from being wiped out. Those moments feel intense, but with this strategy that's kind of the point. The math behind it gives you just enough room to hit those wins, and it's been seen to work multiple times in a single week. After a successful run, it's common practice to vault the profit and restart fresh from $8 again. That keeps the risk isolated and the gains protected. But the second big example using this method, that one stands out. A small adjustment was made, adding one more allowable loss before resetting, which gave the system a bit more breathing room. It was better for the demo than slow down on the big hits so you can see it clearly, a clean $520 win. That's not your average outcome obviously, but it shows what's possible when the stars align and the setup gives you the chance to capitalize on it. To push it further, some users are now experimenting by adding 1000x and even 10,000x multipliers into the rotation, combined with a 50% increase per loss. The big hits haven't landed yet with those odds, but the strategy is still running and updates are being tracked. If you're curious to try this setup yourself, there's a link in the description below with the promo code CO2KY. It gets you a bonus to kick things off on stake. And give it a shot guys, but always keep in mind, this kind of strategy leans into calculated risk and not guarantees.